Right, hi there, welcome to part 9, I think I've got it right this time, part 9 of Project SR250. Just very quickly, before I get cracking, just wanted to say what a great day it was yesterday at the Ace, meeting all the idiots. It was really nice to see everyone and meet new faces as well. Thank you so much to Dell and Penny for the loan of the Idiot Collective hat, because this idiot left his at home, and without that I'd have a seriously sunburnt head, so thank you guys, you saved me there. Thank you to Greg again, not only for the high temperature paint, but he also sorted me out with some carb top bolts that were knackered when I was doing the carb last time, so I've got those. Gonna hopefully have a play with those today, so thank you mate, that was really kind in there, that saved me bacon there. But yeah, today's fun and games. I think I'm probably gonna trim the edges off the old seat. That's cured yesterday in the heat. That is just, yeah, it's pretty solid. I don't think it's going to need any more reinforcing. It's quite a bulky bit of kit, that. So I'll probably trim that down today, so that looks a bit neater. So that'll be a step forward with that. I've had a few goodies come in the post. What's come in the post? I've had stuff like fork seals, fuel tap, it's arrived, pod filters, crankcase breather filter, the gasket set's arrived as well, so that's quite good. So I've got stuff to start getting on with. You may also remember that I mullered one of the lugs on the fork leg, just being a prat like I was. 3 of them successfully drilled and tapped, and the last one I decided to use an easy out, which as they're prone to do, just snapped and was a complete pig, and I had to muller the lug to get the easy out. My mate Smudger, who works on old aircraft and stuff like that, who's an absolute genius and can pretty much make or fix anything, he's just one of those guys that is a pool of knowledge and talent, has welded oversized lug on there for me, even drilled it 10mm, so I've just got to chop it flush and tap it, and yeah, he's just reformed the whole of that together, which is just, yeah, beyond my skill set, and so thank you very much Smudge for that. So that's sorted. Yeah, so, the other thing I might attempt today, I've got no money because I've ordered all these bits, so I've got to do something that's free and cheap, and I'm having a breakfast thinking about a little bit of rust removal and stuff like that, and I fancy giving the old electrolysis thing a bit of a go. I'm thinking about dumping the swing arm into a vat and seeing if I can get rid of that loose rust that's on the inside and all the bits that are in the little crevices and cavities. The old chain guard will get chopped and modified, but there's some metal brackets just riveted on that, which are just cruddy, so if it's working out they'll get a go, and then the chain guard can get chopped down. Yeah, a few other bits and bolts that I need to sort through, that if that process works, you know, and it's free and cheap, I've got all the stuff I need to do it. I'm not too hot on science. I failed science and failed maths, so it's quite exciting for me because I have no idea really about what I'm doing. And also is there a potential for fire and explosions? I think hydrogen and oxygen is produced in the process, so maybe no smoking whilst I'm doing that. But yeah, so that might get going today. So yeah, I'll stop waffling, but just quickly say thank you. Noticed last night, clicked on the my channel bit and found that I could see how many subscribers I've got. 603. Couldn't believe it. What a treat. So thank you all so much for watching and your continued support, which keeps me going. Yeah, it's quite amazing. That was yeah, went to bed with a smile on my face. But yeah, I'll shut up waffling now and get on with whatever I decide to do next. voila. One fork leg back to where we wanted it. Sorted. Right, that's good. So that's 2 fork legs, pretty much ready for new seals, fresh oil and spray paint. Right, while the drill bits are out and the drill's out, I'm going to drill the rivets out of here and get these ready for a bit of refurbishment. Thing is, I can't do any of this seriously now because I don't know if you've seen it, but I've been watching the Ichiban Moto. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's probably a load of liked ones in my videos, but you want to see how a bike gets built properly, watch that. I'm a bit late coming to it. It's been up for a while, but I love it. But yeah. Cool. That's the Yamaha special security bolts removed. You'll get it if you watch the video. Right, so the next job I've decided today is going to be checking the valve clearances on the engine. I've taken most of the covers off as I've got the new gasket set. I don't mind taking bits off. It might, if I decide to spray these up separately and what have you, but no, I just wanted to have a bit of a poke around in a nose as well, just because I'm a nosy bugger like that. But yeah, quite nice. Only 2 valves. There's your intake, so that's coming in from the carb side, and your exhaust valve, pretty much the same this side, exhaust side. Just 2 little tappets to worry about. Taking this side off because obviously I've got no wheel or chain on it, so you can't rotate to top dead centre as easily that way, but here it's pretty easy anyway. I don't know if this is going to pick it up, but on the side here, can you see that T there? That T should align up with, it's a bit too wee to really see, but there's, in the casing cover here, there's like a little arrow that's is that gonna, don't know if that's picking up. Yeah, it's kind of blinking, you miss it. Can you just see on that side there by the bolt? I don't know. Anyway, trust me, there's like a little kind of arrow in the casing itself, you know, just pointing down. So you just need to rotate this. In this case, it's a 19mm, and rotate anti-clockwise until the T on this lines up with the little arrow there. So that's at the right point with which to check the clearances. And on the intake side, it should be between 0.5 and 0.10mm, I believe. I'm just double checking on the bits I've printed out. Yeah. So this one was actually too tight for, I started off with the 5, it was too tight for that, so it's pretty easy to adjust. Just undo the lock nut here, and then you've got kind of like this little square head here. I've just used my little trusty adjustable and just very easily just turn that out, in or out, to set your clearances. So I'm going to go for happy medium. I'll go for about 8. I think 8 will be my one for that. So let's see, 6.8, there we go. I'm going to adjust it to that. I'm going to need 2 hands. Hang on a sec. Right, okay, sorry about that, faffing around. I kind of need 3 hands really to hold the camera as well. I was hoping to show you, but I've left it just there so the let's torch help a little bit. So the adjustable is just holding the top there, and then I'm tightening down with the lock nut. You've got to kind of be quite careful with that, because it's very easy to knock it, and the adjustment on there isn't a great amount to throw it out. So that's locked in and tightened now. I'm pretty sure it hasn't moved, but let's just, now it's tightened down, we'll just double check with the 8. Okay, so even in tightening down there, and I didn't think that had moved at all while I was very carefully tightening it back up, that has actually gone from 0.8 to 0.7 bang on. So yeah, it didn't even look like it had moved, but there we go. Still 0.7 is fine, I'm happy with that. That's sort of bang between 5 and 10. So now we repeat the exact same process on this side. And but this time our specs are 12 to 17. So right, I shall check that. It's exactly the same process as that other one. Yeah, so I haven't got anywhere to kind of zoom in and do this kind of in a slightly better way. But yeah, I shall keep sweating, mop my brow, it's boiling hot in here, and finish this up. Okay, the exhaust is at 0.13, which yeah, it's in within tolerance, so I'm not even going to change that. I'll leave that as is. Cool. So that's another one knocked off the list. I think it's time to get out of the shed for a second, get some fresh air, and cut the seat pan down a little bit. So that's next. Right, okay, just before I start cutting the seat pan down, I thought let's get a little bit dangerous. Let's try this electrolysis kind of malarkey, see if I can get the rust off some of these bits. Thought I might as well get that going, so I'm going to probably leave it overnight. As I say, gone a little bit hillbilly style with it. I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know if this is going to work, but we shall see. I'll show you the setup. Basically, we have a large, and it needs to be a plastic container, and within this, well, we're going to fill this with water and this stuff, soda crystals. It's sodium carbonate. On the videos I've watched, it's been American, so they've said for every gallon put a cup in. I'm just going to kind of pour a load in really. I've just mocked up what I'll be doing, so when that's filled with the electrolyte solution, we have the pieces I want to de-rust in question. So I've put the swing arm in, and I've metal wired the bits off the chain guard there as well, because they kind of need to be part of the circuit, if you get, so that's why there's the metal on there. So they'll be on, they're the bits that are going to get de-rusted in the solution. And then what you need is a gash bit of metal, which is going to attract all the rust to that. So that gets attached with the positive. I'm going to be using the Optimate trickle charger, and then when the time comes, the negative will go to the piece you want to de-rust. So I'm just going to, and you can put this underwater. You don't want to get that clamp underwater, because obviously that's going to get, it's going to look like an old barnacle. Hopefully, if it works, that's going to be just covered in rust. So when I fill it up, I'll just clamp it on like that, and turn the power on. Obviously power's not on at the moment, and then wait to see what happens. I've only suspended this purely because it just seems to be that when it's not all resting on the bottom, perhaps there's going to be more area for it to, you know, attract to this. That's why I've kind of got it suspended, but that's the plan. So I'm going to fill this up now and mix in the soda crystals, and then we'll plug it in and see if anything goes boom or gets clean. Okay, so in theory we're ready to rumble. We have swing arm and other bits suspended and linked together. The negative crocodile cable is clamped onto the swing arm. The saw is there and held up there so it's not going to fall or anything like that, and we've got the positive clamp to that. Solution's ready, everything's covered. Let's go and plug it in. And I've also got the Optimate there, away from the kitchen sink. All safety conscious this. Right, that's on. So, apparently if bubbles start forming in a bit, that's what we'll be looking for. Right, we'll let this little potion brew for a little bit longer. Yeah, it's probably going to be left overnight. So, right, now the seat pan. Well, there we go. That's the pan cut out, and as you can see, it's pretty darn thick. So I don't think I need to really worry too much about that cracking. It is a beef bit of kit. So obviously that's going to need some nice tidied up sanding and make it just, even though you're not going to see it, I want it to look nice because I know it's under there. And so yeah, let's have a test fit on the old main machine. Look at that, lovely job. So you see a bit of sanding and all that, but that's going to look pucker, I think. Pucker. Did I just say the word pucker? Twat. Yeah. Lovely job. There we go. So, pretty happy with that. Right, let's see how the old electrolysis is doing. Right, well, okay. The little electrolysis vat isn't looking quite spectacular. I think I'm about an hour and a half, no, maybe 2 hours into it all sitting in there, and that's not quite as spectacular as I hoped it would have been. I'm not sure. I need to go back maybe and have a look. Maybe I've done something really stupidly wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've followed the instructions. I don't know, is an Optimate a strong enough power source? I've seen people using car battery trickle chargers. Maybe I need something with a bit more juice, don't know. Not really sure, so, but I'll leave that for a bit longer. But I'm now turning my attention to the engine casings. As I've got them off the engine, I'm just going over them with the old wire wheel of doom, getting the worst of that kind of claggy, mollusky alloy cack that's just built up on there, and they're all getting a coat of VHT paint. So well, that's what I'm doing now. So here we go. I've screwed the old engine casing down to a bit of wood so it doesn't move, and give me some Loctite cleaner, which seems pretty good stuff. It's free, and it's just takes all the shit off the surface. Okay, let's take that out and give that a tack coat. So I've given the tack coat on the valve covers, so I'll just do this bad boy now. There we go, 3 coats of VHT in. They're looking a lot nicer than they were. So yep, I'm probably going to sand the fins back on these just to expose a bit of the metal. But yeah, they're looking really good. Thanks, Greg. That's some great paint there. Really like it. So I think that concludes episode 9. Yeah, a bit of another mishmash of bits and bobs. Yeah, let's see how the old electrolysis stuff goes. Not holding my breath on that, to be honest. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Until next time, I shall see you then. Okay, boys and girls, it's not quite the end. Been thinking about that Electra light thing, and that was really annoying me. So I kind of figured I've set everything up right. It's got to be the Optima. I ain't got enough beans to be doing it. You know, that trickle charging in. So I've hooked the battery, a motorcycle battery, up in line to it. So we have the Optima in the kitchen, going down to a rocking chair. You don't need the rocking chair. To that, I've made up some wires which are connected to there onto crocodile clips, which go into here. And within seconds of me doing that, you see all that green shit? Something's happening. I'm getting bubbling. I'm getting a bit of fun. So looks like something's happening. So yeah, cool. That's obviously what it was. But yep, that really is the end. So let's see how this does overnight, and tune in next time for more exciting science projects.